happy New Year, and welcome back to my live. We're just waiting until some other people come on, and we are going to get into this evening's dinner. It's quite simple, and it's gonna be delicious. I want to thank you guys for stopping in, and for those who are coming in, stopping in, looking in, checking in for the first time. Welcome to my kitchen. This is where I am at my happiest. This is where I get to make food for my family, and I love sharing this with you. So welcome, guys.
Impressive85 says, hi Chef, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's to you too. And remember, guys, tell me where you're watching from.
Along with Bliss Chelsea, Happy New Year, says Happy New Year, Chef.
Happy New Year, guys.
Fine Wine 01 says Happy New Year also.
Happy New Year.
Shanice says hi.
Hi, Shanice.
Cherry Moore
Hi,
says,
Miss Chelsea. She's always tuning in. Welcome, guys. And so I want to welcome those guys on Facebook also. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you have a very blessed 2021. I hope that you are blessed and will be blessed in every single thing that you set out to do. I wish you long health, good health, long life, and success.
Cherry Moore says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Cheryl Jenkins says hi.
Hi, Cheryl. Welcome to everyone who is stopping in. Hi, Stephen. All right, guys. So this evening's dinner is inspired by Southern cooking, and so I'm going to be making grits, and I'll be making some shrimp to go over the grits. But as usual, everything I cook, I like to incorporate my Jamaican heritage. So the dinner is inspired by Southern cooking. However, I am going to be adding some of my Jamaican flavors. So for example, I'm going to do a crayfish and shrimp rundown to serve over our grits. And as usual, as I go along, I'm going to tell you a little history about grits, what it is, and of course you're going to see how to cook it. And for dessert, I am making a beignet. So for all of you who have ever been to New Orleans, you must go to Cafe du Monde. The beignets are just amazing. Beignet is really French. It is fried dough. So the word beignet is French for fritter. So that's what it is. So classically in French, it can be used, it's made with a pastry called pâté choux. Or you can make it the way I'm going to be showing you how to make it this evening with just some good stuff. So let's go.
Impressive85 is watching from Virginia.
Hi, Impressive85. Thank you guys for stopping in.
Nicolette says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Nicolette. In this container, so I'm making a cassava beignet. Now, I have a couple food predictions for this year, and of course, one of the food trends, it started last year and it's going to continue out for 2021, and that is the seafood boil with many different flavors. However, I feel like for this year, the seafood boil is going to take on more Jamaican flavors and more Asian flavors. So that is my prediction. I also see Jamaicans using more and more cassava flour and getting very jiggy with oxtail, stuffing it into bread and spring roll wrappers and putting it into salads. And my final food predictions for this year, I feel like Jamaicans are going to start getting very jiggy with quinoa. Quinoa is one of those grains. It's a complete protein, and so you're seeing it more and more in the supermarket. So those are my pick for 2021 as it relates to food trends. So let's get baking. In here, I have 1 cup of cassava flour, and I love the raw cassava flour, and that's the one that I'm using. And I have 1 cup of baking flour, a teaspoon of yeast, a teaspoon of baking powder, some salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, And I'm gonna grate in some nutmeg.
Rooted and grounded in Christ says hi.
Hi, rooted and grounded in Christ. So guys, remember now, tell me where you're watching from. Happy New Year, Stephen.
Cheryl Jenkins, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Cheryl.
Impressive 85. Hi chef kids, you all are so sweet for doing this with your mom every weekend. Thank you. Lauren says same to you. Fine Wine says amen, same to you, Simone.
Thank you guys.
Nicolette Summers watching from Mount Vernon.
Hey Nicolette.
Stephen Hamilton watching from the yard in my bed.
Thank you for stopping in, Stephen. And also guys, remember now, share the live. Let somebody know that Chef Walker-Barrett is on. If they want to learn a thing or two, this is a place to stop by on a Sunday evening as I share with you. Okay, so we have all of our dry ingredients all mixed in here. So again, this is 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of cassava flour, and 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar, granulated sugar that is, and some nutmeg. So I'm gonna add some liquid stuff in. I'm gonna add 1 whole egg. Oh guys, and so I've been getting a couple questions over the holidays. I didn't get to address them. The egg does not have an eye, okay guys? Don't say that out loud. The egg does not have an eye. It is called a chalaza and it keeps the yolk together. It doesn't have an eye. So let's leave that in 2021. Leave it alone. This right here, Happy New Year's. This is 2 tablespoons of melted butter. So we have 1 egg in there. And now we're adding 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And this is milk. This is a total of 1/2 cup of milk. And I'm just adding it in small portions. And basically you mix this into a dough, just like you would make a dumpling dough. The only difference is that you add some enriching agent in there, like the milk, the egg, the butter, and of course some sugar. All right, so I'm using an extension of my arm, and that is my spatula, just to get it mixed into a dough. And as soon as I feel like it is together, I'm going to turn it out on my surface. This.
Impressive 85 says I used to live there, chef, referring to the cafe.
Yeah, it's amazing. Especially when you have it with some coffee.
Patricia Brown, good evening family.
Hey sis. So guys, the cassava flour is very dense and I like it. However, there are other brands of cassava flour in the supermarket now. I see Separate is really rolling out and spreading the cassava love. So kudos to them. Their cassava flour is much more refined. So if you like that one, you can go on and get it. I use that one sometime, but I make a lot of cassava dumpling for my family. So I always kind of pick up the raw one because it has a lot of texture in it. And you can also sieve it and get it real fine. So now what we're doing here, we're kneading our dough, and I'm dusting my board with a little extra flour. You want to knead it, especially if you're doing it by hand like I am doing. Kneading is very important. It distributes all the ingredients, and of course it helps to develop the gluten. So the cassava flour by itself does not have any gluten because it's just what it is. But the wheat flour has gluten, and gluten is actually protein.
Tamika McCarthy, good evening.
Hi Tamiko, welcome.
Serena Wallace, hi aunt, I'm here.
Hi Serena, thanks for stopping in. So guys, this recipe has a total of 2 cups of flour, 1 cup cassava, and 1 cup wheat flour. And the wheat flour of choice, I can also feel little lumps of the cassava in here. That's how dense it is. You can sieve it just to make it smoother. And so the yeast is going to really allow this to get nice and soft. So a beignet is basically French for fritto, okay? And the signature look of a beignet is these square pieces of dough that you fry and they puff up because you add yeast to it. And so you're gonna see how that is. And in New Orleans, they usually just serve it with lots of powdered sugar, and that's how we're gonna serve it tonight. Just picking out these are the pieces of cassava.
Tamika McCarthy, good evening, cousins.
Good evening, Tamika. I think we're good.
Jaybird23 says hi.
Hi, Jaybird23. So what I'm doing now, guys, I'm just rubbing a little bit, well, the leftover of my melted butter on top. And then we're gonna put it into our container to do a little process that is called fermentation. Okay, so fermentation is where the yeast acts on the sugar into the dough and it turns it into carbon dioxide gas and alcohol, and that is what causes it to rise. So in short, we are going to leave our dough to double in size. Okay, so I'm going to cover this.
Impressive 85.
And put it off to the side to do its thing. And then we're going to clean up as usual.
Impressive 85 says yep, so good.
Clean all this out of the space so that we can start cooking our grits. All right. All right, guys, so remember now, tell me where you are watching from.
Louis Armour Jackson Walker, good evening, chef and family. I'm watching. What are you making this evening?
Good evening, my mother. So, mommy, we are making a rundown and we are making grits. All right. So for our grits, we're going to need a stone ground cornmeal. So grits are basically all the grits is a porridge. So the persons from down south, don't be mad at me. That is my simple way of classifying what the grits are. So first and foremost, I want you to understand that grits, they're made from corn, white corn traditionally, and this is something that was started with the American Indians. So based on my research, they did it first. However, this is a beloved dish by the southern people, and I want to respect it like I do for everything that I cook. I don't like to disrespect the food heritage, where it comes from. Is very important to preserve it. So I'm using a stone ground yellow corn. So these days you can find instant grits in the supermarket, and you can find it white or yellow. And so if it is white, it is from white corn, that's the traditional one, and if it is yellow, it is from yellow corn.
Trinally 75, good evening all, watching from Trinidad.
Hi Shanali, welcome.
Shanika Bennett, Happy New Year, Diva Chef. You're
Happy New Year.
Watching from Sunshine City.
Hi Shanika, so Portmore is in the house. This is what the grits looks like. All right, it's very coarse. It's a cornmeal that was stone ground. So I'm gonna just pour it so you can see. And this is all I need. It's very coarse. So this is what it looks like for those who are looking in on Facebook and for those who are looking in on Instagram. So that's our grits right there.
Andrine Spence, hello everyone.
Hi Andrine.
Owen Sylvester watching from Spanish Town.
Hi.
I believe that's Dwight.
Yes, that's Dwight. Okay, so we're gonna put some good stuff in our grits tonight, and as I add them, I'll be sharing that with you.
Kimberly Campbell, hi Miss, Happy New Year.
Okay, hi Kimberly. So now guys, I'm going to blend some coconut for my rundown.
I'm watching from the home of Street Food Saturdays, Mount James.
Hi Serena. So guys, for our rundown, I use one average coconut. I took it out of the shell off camera and I blend it in 2 cups of water. That is a pint, and I'm gonna just strain it directly in my pot.
JBerry23. So would it be the same as coarse cornmeal?
No, it's a little different. So it depends on what the manufacturer used to mill the corn and how they treat the corn. So it's not a meal. It is milled using stone. It's like stone mill is this ancient way of doing it. So it looks like little cracks of corn. It's not a meal. A meal is more fine, more like a flour consistency. So there is cornmeal, there is corn flour, and there is ground corn. They're all similar, but they're all different.
She was referring to the cornmeal she buys in the supermarket.
I know. It's different.
The Fox 1967 says hi.
Hi.
Shari is here. She says hi.
Hi, Shari.
The Fox says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. So I'm straining my coconut right into my pot. Now, guys, if you're Jamaican, you know this is how we do. If you're not Jamaican, guys, we love coconut, and this is how we do. This is the modern way of doing it. We throw it in a blender and blend it. And then this is the process we call squeezing out the juice. Coconut has lots of oils in them, and so they make absolutely delicious sauces. So what I'm trying to do is get as much of the juice out as I possibly can. I think that's enough.
Berry says thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, and I have a little bit more in my blender. Let's just get it out. All right. So it goes into the sink. All right, so what is gonna happen for the rundown, for those of you who are Jamaican, you know, you would have an idea of how to make rundown. Tonight I'm showing you how I make rundown. So rundown is basically the Creole word to reduce. And so what you do is you take coconut milk and you reduce it down until it is thickened, or onto a stage where the cream separates from the oils. And so that stage, we refer to it as the oil down. Every Jamaican have a different way of doing it. This is my way. So I'm gonna let this reduce down by half, and then I'm gonna start adding some seasoning in. So while that is happening, I'm going to move on to our grits. So in this pot, I have 1 tablespoon of butter, and I'm going to put my cornmeal directly in. I said cornmeal, didn't I? My ground corn directly into the butter, and I like to toast it up in the fat first. Again, guys, this is my way. I like to coat the grains with the fat. And to simplify it, I feel like grits is just basically savory porridge with lots of texture. Don't come at me now. I love grits. Grits is versatile. And for those persons who are looking for something else other than rice, this is a great starch to eat. And this can be added for breakfast, and you can put any meat in it or on top of it. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding in some flavor into my grits. I am adding some garlic powder, like about half a teaspoon. This is Old Bay. I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of that. I love flavor, so I put flavor in whenever I'm cooking. I have to pack it with flavor. All right, now I am going to add 2 cups of water into my grits. Where's my water?
Adrian Star says hi.
Hi, Adrian. Now the trick when you're cooking grits, you must pay attention to it and stir it ever so often. Okay, so I'm starting it out with 2 cups of water, and I'm going to, I find that if you cover it, it cooks a little bit faster.
Pilgiver says hello.
Hello, who was that?
Pilgiver.
All right, guys, and this is our coconut. It starts to boil already, and this is going to be reduced all the way down. So we started with 1 pint, which is 2 cups, so I want to reduce it down to half. So at the end, it's going to have 1 cup, and at this stage, I'm going to start adding some seasoning to it. And I'm adding the same obedient flavors I added to the grits. I'm adding some dry thyme leaf. I'm adding some garlic powder. Okay. And I'm going to add some scallions. Goes in. So we're building the flavor of our rundown. And then I'm going to add some salt. I like to start with salt and then re-season again. So I'm going to add about half teaspoon of salt. We always add salt to taste.
Dream of Life is asking if grits is a Jamaican go-to food.
No, so grits is not a Jamaican go-to food. So at the start of the live, I told you that my inspiration is from the Southern cooking. So grits is a Southern American thing. And tonight, this is gonna be our dinner. So that's what the inspiration comes from, the Southern American thing. And we're using yellow grits, and we're serving this with some rundown, which is very Jamaican. And this is gonna be a seafood rundown tonight.
Marie Colleen Dubidat, Happy New Year, Diva Chef.
Hi, Dubidat. Happy New Year to you too. Alright, so while we allow our rundown to come on down and get all flavorful, let's look at some other ingredients that I want to put into our grits. So this is cream cheese. This is approximately 2 ounces of cream cheese, and I have 1 ounce of butter in. So this is going to be added to our grits close to the end. And so you add this just for the grits to have a nice rich mouthfeel. So this is my addition. I'm also going to be adding some smoked salmon. So I have some smoked salmon left over from the holiday, and I'm just going to add this in because we love big bold flavor. And after all, this is a seafood dinner tonight, so I'm throwing that in. This could have been saltfish. You could add some saltfish. So if you want to cook from a different culture, you can take the grits from the south and you can add your flavors. For example, a Jamaican can add saltfish to it or a little bit of red rain. That's the best way to start eating new food, when you infuse it with the flavors from your country. And our grits is boiling, and you have to stir it because it's a starch, and starches gelatinize. Okay, what that means is that when starches are heated up, they absorb the liquid and they swell and causing the appearance in the pot to look more. Okay, so in other words, you notice it starts to get bulky. It looks like a lot more than what we put in the pot, is because gelatinization is happening, and all starches gelatinize. Okay guys, and so if you don't stir, it's going to start to scorch and then it will burn on you, so you have to stir it occasionally. At this stage, I'm going to add some salt. Just a little salt in. And I'm going to have to add some more liquid, because look at this. This is not cooked and it has absorbed all of our liquid already. So I'll add some more. But I want to go back to our rundown. See, it's bubbling away. Just gonna taste it, and it smells like coconut in my kitchen already. And our dinner is coming on quite nicely, I must say. So let me get some more water to add to our grits. So guys, remember now to tell me where you're watching from. And I want to thank you for stopping in and for staying in. For those of you who stay with us throughout the live, I just want to say thank you very much. If you don't stir your grits, it's going to start to lump, because that's what happened with starches. If you don't stir it during the gelatinization process, it forms little lumps, and that's no good. So you want to stir occasionally.
Tamika McCarthy, watching from Central Texas.
Hi Tamika. Texas is watching us tonight. Welcome.
Saint Tweets for Life says hi along with Lisa.
Hi guys.
Marie Dubedat, watching from Florida.
Hey Florida. Alright guys, so our grits is cooking slowly. It's not there yet. So when you're cooking, some of the questions I get asked is, people say to me, so chef, how do you know when it is done? Alright guys, so my little motto in cooking is, I cook with my 5 senses. So the best way to know when something is done is to taste it. So I just taste it, and it doesn't taste done. It still tastes raw. So you continue to cook it until it is tender.
George Matthews, Happy New Year, chef. Enough love.
Hey chef, thanks for stopping in. Happy New Year to you and your family as well.
Jashawn Shakim Shakur Brown, watching from Florida.
Hi Jashawn Shakim Shamir
Shakur.
Shakur Brown, welcome. You see what's going on with our rundown? It's really running down nice and slow. It is reducing pretty fast. So I'm just gonna put the cover halfway on. And let's look at our crayfish. So what I did, these are Jamaican crayfish, and sometimes they get as big as a Maine lobster. These, I blanch them. Usually when I buy them, I blanch them and freeze them. I like to blanch them first just to take the edge off, because sometimes they have a smell that I don't like. So I find blanching them in a little bit of vinegar water really freshens them up. And as soon as you blanch them, they're going to turn red, just like a lobster would. These are related to the lobster, and these are our native Jamaican crayfish. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. So what I want to do right now is to clean it up. So I'm going to push this out to the side so I can clean up our crayfish for you guys to see while I give an eye on what's going on. So for the cleaning of the crayfish, you guys see, it's very simple. I like to take off the little antennas. These are what I call the antennas, these things. So I take a kitchen shear and just take them off. Especially this evening that I have the time. It's perfectly okay depending on the style of food you're cooking to leave them on, but whenever I can, I like to remove them. Don't want my grits to start burning on me, so ever so often I have to give it a little attention. All right. And we go back to our crayfish and we take off the antennas. What do you call these? I call them the antennas because they're always sticking out. I think the crayfish use these to navigate their ways in the water.
Lisa Almarie said never had grits before.
All right, Lisa, next time you go to the store, look for one. Start with an instant grit, and the instruction of how it is cooked is on the package. And again, guys, whenever you're cooking something that you've never cooked before, what you can do is to put the flavors that you love on it, and you will definitely enjoy it more when you put the flavors that you love on it. So for example, if you love lots of cheese, you put cheese in it. If you love coconut milk, you put coconut milk in it. If you love lots of seasoning, you can put that in your grits just for it to taste the way you want it to taste. Okay, so I'm going to take these, I'm going to give them a wash, and I'm going to come right back.
Not so loud, it's a nice cookware.
Thank you.
Tamika McCarthy says antenna.
Oh, Tamika, do you guys have these in Texas as well? Do you have crayfish in Texas?
Patricia Brown says watching from New York.
Kimberly Campbell call them sprangs.
We call them sprangs.
Saint Tweety for Life says nice. What brand?
Oh, so this is master class. So I am a master class fanatic, and so as soon as they dropped their cookware, I had to go out and get it. You know, so master class is a group of chefs that come together and give these master class in culinary, and I love those guys because I feel like they're on top of their game, so I support them.
Tamika McCarthy, yes, but them small.
Hey, Tamika, they're not as big as the Jamaican variety. You know, in Jamaican, guys, we have many different types of crayfish. Depending on where you're from in Jamaica, we call some of them cray, and we call them jango, and we even call them lobster because sometimes they're so big, bigger than a Maine lobster, we just call them lobster.
Not so loud says are they pre-cooked, referring to the crayfish?
Yes, they were. I blanched them. Whenever I buy crayfish, because in Jamaica mostly you find them on the side of the road. So whenever I buy them, I just blanch them. I'm going to tell you guys what blanching are in a minute.
Miss Abs 77 says hello.
Hello, Miss Abs.
Not so loud says grits looks done.
It's not yet done. I just tasted it. It's still a little gritty, no pun intended. I wanted to cook a little bit more, and then we're going to finish it with our cheese and butter and a little bit of cream.
Lisa says will do and tell you about it. Saint Tweety for Life says where do you get them? Pot set.
Oh, these where did my sister buy these for me? Patricia, where did you get these pot sets? Probably in Burlington. Either Marshalls or Burlington. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Our rundown is almost at the oil down stage. Isn't that awesome? So now I'm going to put some other good stuff in it. I'm going to put a little bit of turmeric in there for color. So turmeric is not the same as curry powder. Turmeric is just the natural turmeric dry and ground down. So I'm going to add some of that to this because I like the color.
Patricia says she gets the pot set from TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx. There you go.
Whitcliffe Doyley, Happy New Year, Chef Barrett.
Happy New Year, Sir Doyley. How you doing? Alright guys, so I had to run to my storeroom to find my turmeric because I totally forget to prep it. So, starting with 2 pinch of turmeric, and that goes in. And you see now it is at the custard stage. And at this time, I'm going to add our beautiful crawfish in and let them take on some of that flavor from the coconut. I'm also going to re-season this with a little bit of salt, a little more salt, and a little bit more Old Bay. Old Bay is a seasoning that is so good on everything seafood. And we're gonna just leave this here to just take on that beautiful coconut rundown flavor. All right. So now guys, I'm gonna check on our dough for our beignet. See what's happening. So this is our dough for our beignet. Still needs to rise a little bit more.
Whitcliffe Doyley, love those fancy cookware. I'm doing well. To God be the glory.
Thank you, Chef. I hope all the best for you and your family in 2021. So now guys, let's move on to the shrimp part of our dinner. So whenever I'm cooking shrimp, you need something that is nice and high for shrimp because shrimp overcooks quickly. So I like to just do it on high fire. So while my pan is getting hot for my shrimp, we're going to look at our grits and add some good stuff to our grits. So at this time, I'm gonna add in a little bit of cream. I'm adding in 1/4 cup of cooking cream. I don't think I need any more than that. And so grits must be served immediately because it's a starch. And just like a porridge, you notice what happened after porridge cooled down? It gets firm. All right, so let me add in our cream cheese. I love the vibe that the cream cheese brings to the party. It really gives it that creaminess. And I'm just adding 1 tablespoon of butter. And just, what's gonna happen is that the heat is going to melt the cream cheese and it will eventually mix in. So you want to make sure when you make grits it's a little pourable because as it cools down it's going to get firmer. So I think I'm going to add just a little bit more cream to this when I'm almost ready to serve it. But for now, let us allow the cream to just do its thing. And you want to do this on low.
T-Dot, can't wait to see the cassava Bennett. Sounds amazing.
And we're looking at our crayfish rundown. Isn't that amazing, guys? So yes, Jamaicans, we know our rundown. We love it with saltfish. So this is a nice little way that you can make it with something else. If you're a seafood person, you can throw your favorite seafood into the rundown. And this is just smelling so good. So that is getting happy. So we're gonna turn our attention now to our shrimp.
Not so loud. Says the calorie count just went way up.
We're not watching any calories today. Okay, and so in here I'm adding 1 tablespoon of oil.
Lisa says, Chef, I want rundown.
Anytime, Lisa. I might just put this dish on the menu for month end at Street Food Saturdays, the crayfish rundown, who knows. So my pot is nice and steamy. Ashelia, step back a little bit because this is going to splatter. And so I have some shrimp. And that's what you want to hear, that nice big sizzle. And we're going to saute our shrimp with a little bit of wine and whatever. So we're sauteing the shrimp halfway. You could have just poured the shrimp directly into the rundown, but I don't like to do it that way. I like to get it going first, just to get that Maillard reaction going, that saute vibe going. Just move it around. Oh, and by the way, I season the shrimp with some Old Bay and some salt. You know, us Jamaicans, we love our food well seasoned, but we have to try and create a balance. So again, halfway, meaning you're not going to fully cook the shrimp in the sauteing process. You're just going to do it halfway. And at this point, just to take the edge off, I like to add a little bit of wine. So I'm adding like a tablespoon of cooking wine just to get the edge off. And our shrimp is ready for our rundown. It's not fast. So from one pot to the next, shrimp goes right into our rundown. Remember, I promised you shrimp and crayfish rundown. So now everything is going to cook and take on that rundown flavor and get absolutely happy. Because the crayfish are so much bigger, you need to put them in first just to give them a head start. Just want to get out all of this sponge from the pot, get it in. All right, and we put the cover back on, and that is on low.
Serena Wallace says, looking delicious.
Thank you. Okay, so now I am going to start getting our dessert ready. Our grits is on low. Just get one last look, guys. The cream cheese has melted in. See that? So once the cream cheese is added, kind of turn white. And every time I make food for my family, they have to have their full serving of vegetable, well, at least one. So now I'm gonna add in some green vegetables. All right, this part is totally optional, but what the heck. Put it in just to make sure that the meal is balanced. And so the heat is going to cook this vegetable. And for those who are going to ask, this is pop choy. I love it. Callaloo pop choy is my favorite thing. So I'm just using the green parts of the pak choy tonight and leaving the white parts for something else. So I have my 1 serving of vegetable into my grits. And we're going to let this hang out. It's on low. It's gonna keep warm until our beignets are ready. Let's put this off to the side. So now we're gonna go back to center stage for our beignet. Sheila, did you find that pizza cutter? All right, guys, so for our beignet, we're going to need a little bit of flour.
Patricia Brown, must be nice to live with a creative chef.
Is it nice to live with a creative chef, guys? They're not answering back. To them, it is the regular thing. Put this wine away for me, please. So what I just did, guys, I dust my board with a little bit of flour, and I'm gonna put some on our rolling pin, and I'm going to just roll our dough out.
Louis Jackson Walker, it's New Year dinner, yummy yummy.
It's just dinner, mommy.
Tamika McCarthy, yum yum.
Thank you, guys. So I'm rolling this out into a thickness of about 1/8 of an inch.
Georgia, Malika Kitchen.
Thank you, Georgia.
Looking HGTV quality.
Thank you. All right, guys. So again, for those who are just joining, welcome. For those who stayed on, thank you. And so we're asking you guys to share the live. Don't forget to share. So this is what we're gonna do. This is our pan. Just gonna put some flour on our pan. And you can also bake beignets, but they're so much more delicious fried. So if you're counting calories, you go ahead and bake them. But if you want that guilty pleasure, just once in a while, you can fry them. So I'm gonna take my pizza cutter and I'm going to just square off the edges and save these pieces of dough because we're gonna fry up everything.
Mr. Royal says hi.
Hi, Mr. Royal.
Kylie Beautiful says hi.
Hi, Kylie Beautiful. All right, guys, so while I roll, let me take the time to tell you about my YouTube channel. It's called Nextinfood. So go over to YouTube, type in Nextinfood and subscribe if you have not done so. The YouTube channel is where I post the lives so you can go back and watch them. But I also post recipes that I make for my family. And so what we're doing now, we're just basically documenting my Jamaican comfort food. So go over there and subscribe and share the love. So the beignets, they're cut usually in squares. Don't worry if they're not all the same.
Sue says hello.
Hello, Sue. So I'm putting them on my tray, and we dust the tray with some flour, and the purpose for that is to prevent them from sticking. All right, guys, so you dust them with some flour and they don't stick all over the place. All right, I need a bigger tray. You just grab another tray and you're gonna cover them again. We're covering them with some plastic. We're gonna allow them to rise. I'm just going to put the rest on top of my dish cover here. I hope they can hold. Oh, this one is big. Who's gonna get this big one?
Annie Walker, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Annie. And I'm gonna clean up. So you must cover them, guys. If you don't cover them, they're going to dry out from the warmth of your kitchen. So you want to cover, make sure to trap the moisture in. And of course, you want to always clean up as you go along when you are cooking. So for those who are new, this is what our YouTube channel, this is the name of it, that is the spelling. Go over there and subscribe. We have quite a bit of recipe on our YouTube channel. So for example, if you want to learn how to make a potato pudding, if you want to learn how to make a gizzardo for your family, if you want to learn how to make roti, and so much more, you can go onto our YouTube channel and you can subscribe. You can use our YouTube channel as a reference on how to make Jamaican food. Okay.
Andrew Walker, hello my sis.
Hello my brother. So guys, this is just on the warm setting. I'm just keeping our shrimp and crayfish rundown warm. It is cooked, it is ready. We're just keeping it warm for service. Okay, so what I try to do is make the dinners very simple so that you all can just replicate them. This is quite easy. Okay, and you could have made this into a one pot. You could add your potatoes. If you like corn, you can add corn. If you like sausage, you can add sausage, or you can just keep it seafood. Okay, so that is that. And then
Empress of 85, Chef, I love the twist on your hair tonight.
Thank you. This is our grits. Our grits is ready. Very ready. All right, so it's just keeping warm. We added 1 serving of vegetable in. We added a little bit of cream cheese, and we also added some butter. You can add as much cheese as you like into your grits. You can add butter too. Oh, this is so good. And that vegetable that we put in there, that pak choy. So again, guys, if you want your family to eat their vegetables, you must always put 1 serving of vegetables in every meal that you cook. Hide it in there. Encourage them to eat the vegetables. You see what happened? You see how it gets hard on the spoon? That's what happened to starches. As soon as it cools down, it gets hard. Now if I should spread this, guys, it would cool. After it cooled down, I could cut it and I could make a whole other dish. It's called a grit cake, just like how you would a polenta. So Jamaicans have come to know what polenta is and love it. So I'm introducing grits. It's very similar. It just has another name. So you can make grits.
The Fox.
For your family.
Sorry to interrupt. The Fox, I did their sweet potato roti yesterday with curry goat.
Wow. How was that? That must have been awesome.
Tanya Bailey, hi sis, I'm so late, dinner ready.
Hey sis, dinner not ready yet, but almost. I'm just stretching it out because just to keep you guys engaged. So now guys, you can ask your questions. I'm going to put our oil on to get ready for frying of the beignets. So everything that is fried, you want to fry it at 350. That's a good temperature, or 375. Fried food should never be greasy. It should never be soggy with the oil. And so to prevent that, you want to make sure you bring the oil up to temperature before you add the food to the oil. You also want to make sure that you don't crowd the pot. You don't want to put too much in, because if you do that, it's going to drop the temperature of the oil, and then your finished fried product is going to be on the soggy side, and we don't want that. So we're heating up our oil low and slow, and then we are going to fry our beignets. So in the meantime, I'm going to get my sieve ready for my powdered sugar that we're going to just shower down on the beignet. And I'm going to clear away everything that I'm not using, because we're just waiting to serve our grits with our crayfish and shrimp rundown. So let me just take these things out of the way.
Fine wine. I did make some roti today, but it was plain. It was yummy.
I'm sure it was. Food is always yummy when it is made with love. And so I want to encourage you guys to cook more for your family. And so the more you cook, the easier it becomes. You hear that, Tanya? The more you cook, the easier it becomes. Okay, so I think I need a little more oil in this pot for a beignet. Guys, could you just shift that fan for me? It's taking away from my frying. So when you're frying, you just want a good oil, a very neutral oil, like a vegetable oil, a corn oil, a canola oil. All of those oils are good for frying. And it's almost service time. We're gonna check. These beignets are going to fry real quick. I'm going to be adding our salmon to our grits. That's the last thing. Let me just go ahead while I wait and add it in so that you guys can see. You just move this up.
Ronald Logan, yum.
Hi Ronald, thank you for stopping in. All right guys, so here we go. So I'm adding in my last little bit of ingredient. So this is a texture. See, it's not too runny. It could even be a little runnier, because by the time it sets, it's going to be stiff. So I think I'm gonna add just a little more cream. A little more cream don't hurt nobody. All right, so I added now a total of, I don't know, so a little more cream just to get it nice and creamy. Now what I love about grits is something that you can have for breakfast. It's something you can have by itself. So I know usually at the start of the year, everybody wants to come off meat for a little bit. So this is good. You could take the cheese out, you could take the butter out and replace it with some good coconut oil. You can replace the cream with some good coconut milk, and just add your flavor to it. You can add more vegetables to it. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So I'm adding in some scallions right at the end, and I'm adding in this smoked salmon just because I have it. And the smoked salmon is just going to give it a nice smoky little vibe. Okay. Just mix it in. So we're treating the smoked salmon like a flavor tonight.
Tanya Bailey, yes sis, I'm getting there. I tried your breadfruit wedges. They were so tasty, my husband over it.
I'm glad you tried something new, my sister. This is what this live cooking is all about, is to take the fear out of cooking. This dinner tonight is pretty inexpensive. You grab a pack of shrimp, you work so hard, you must can grab a pack of shrimp from the supermarket every now and then. Rainforest make it so affordable, so easy. You buy the ones within your budget. And never mind the smoked salmon, I had that in my fridge, so I'm just using it up.
You might want to clean your other pot, Chef. Your grits got on it.
Which one? Oh, this one here? Oh.
Rana Logan, that looks sumptuous.
So I think our oil is almost ready. Let's do the test. So I'm going to put one in and see how ready our oil is.
Karen E. Banks says hi.
Hi Karen. You see what's happening, guys, with our beignet? It puffs up, and that is what you want to see. Alright, so because these are cassava beignets, they're not going to be as puffy as the regular one because the cassava flour is different. It doesn't have that protein in it. But it's still delicious. Cassava brings lots of flavor to the party. And see, it looks like a little pillow. That is what we're looking for. So guess what? It's time to fry. So I'm going to take this out. I'm going to add some more. Here goes. Adding our little beignets. And they will puff up as you see what's happening. And I like to use a spoon to just flip them over. And my kitchen is starting to smell like cassava. Cassavas have that unique, almost fermented smell to it. It's lovely. So for those who don't know what cassava smell like, smell bami. You eat bami? Next time you make bami, take a little sniff of it. That's exactly what cassava smell like. And a lot of Jamaicans think that they don't love cassava. You do love cassava because bamis are our beloved flatbread that we make, and we love to eat it, especially with seafood. And these are ready, and so it's time to remove them from the oil. So these are nice and puffy, like little pillows. We're gonna add some more. Here goes. So the longer you let this ferment for, the more airy they will be. So those are the two first ones. You want to turn those over first. Make sure. All right, so let us look at what they look like on the inside. See that? Little pillows off. Delicious now. Tastes like cassava. So good. I mean, guys, you can't beat fried dough. Any dough that is fried is just absolutely delicious. And then this has cassava in it, so it brings a whole nother dimension of flavor. You want to taste this? to the party. A whole nother level of delicious flavor. And we're almost done. Last batch. There we go. So we're gonna set up for service. It's almost service time. Also, guys, for those of you who have been asking, reservations will be open for Street Food Saturdays on January 10th. So please stay tuned. Also, we have a few little changes coming our way. Not to worry. The changes are for river dining. We realize that you love the river dining experience. We have been working with a few community members to really get the river ready and have more space. And so now that we have our community members on board with helping with maintaining the cleanliness of the river. And by the way, our river is not a swimming river. Our river is a stream. It is not even knee high. It's just a vibe. We're blessed to have that river. And so we're going to be offering what we call a surcharge for persons who want to dine in the river. Because one of the challenges that we've been having, sometimes persons reserve the river and they don't show up, and then persons who would have showed up and want the experience didn't get to do it because they book the seats and they don't turn up. So now we're offering a surcharge so that once to confirm your reservation, you have to pay that surcharge. It's going to be a very tiny charge, and that charge is going to be via bank transfer or PayPal. And so that is just to confirm your reservation. So stay tuned to our page for more details on that. I'm still trying to decide on the menu. I kind of feel like I'm gonna bring the platter back. Just start the year with a bang with platter service. Let's see. So I'll be dropping the menu on the 10th of January. So our beignets.
Rosemary, were they soaked in milk?
What's that?
The beignets.
Oh no, my love. No. The beignets are not soaked in milk. They're usually dusted with sugar, and this is what we're gonna do now. So I'm gonna just put them. I love to see the beignets in a bowl. So I pile them up into a bowl, just like this. They're nice and airy and pillowy. How simple is that? Tanya, even you can make this beignet. See, I keep calling you out tonight. Make some beignet tonight, Tanya. Well, not tonight, but whenever you can. So this is how I'm serving up my beignets. I'm gonna put some icing sugar in my sieve, and this is how they would serve them in New Orleans. You just shower them over with icing sugar. Isn't that amazing? Yep, you get the sugar all on your lips and on your fingers. And so these are our cassava beignet. For those who are afraid of sugar, feel free to do what you want to do, but as I said, we have to respect other culinary, beignet overboard, other culinary traditions. You know, you notice how Jamaicans always get mad when other people try to make our food and they don't do it the way we feel that they should do it. And when you see Jamaicans try to cook every other culture food and they massacre it, and I wonder how those people feel. So, pull it back to me. Okay. Alright guys, so now I'm going to serve our shrimp and grits. Here goes. I need a spoon. So we start with dessert and we serve our dessert first because Sundays are for desserts.
Lisa, Chef Kitchen is guilt-free. I love it.
Yes, I don't look here. I can't live my life watching this and watching that. To
Rosalie,
each their own.
Rosalie Chambers, looking good.
I just love to eat food in moderation. Thank you, Rosalie Chambers, for stopping in and staying in. Alright, so classically, this is how the grits is served. Usually you just put it into a plate that has some depth, just like this. And what I'm trying to do is just kind of make a well in the center. This is a perfect family meal. You all just take some. So I'm making a little well in the center.
Louise Jackson Walker, remember mine?
Always, mommy, always.
Rosalie Chambers, my favorite dish.
See, Rosalie know what I'm talking about with this grits. Oh, let me get going. Can I get that? Yeah. So here goes. So we have our vegetables accounted for. Put one nice big.
Patricia Brown, looking so delicious.
Thank you, sis. We want to put our Django. What you call them, guys? I call them Django. If you're Jamaican and you're watching, what do you call these? I call them Django.
Andrine Spence, yummy.
Hey, Andrine. I'm just trying to, you know, for presentation purpose. And then other shrimp goes on. And some of our beautiful rundown, and that's all there is. And we just put one more Django on top. Isn't that pretty? And that is our dinner, guys. So I'm gonna just put it out so you can see. Take a look. Take it back to me, Ashelia.
Yes.
All right, guys, give them a close-up on what the dinner is. So I want to thank you all for stopping in, for staying in. Thank you so much. These are our cassava beignets. All I did was to dust them with some powdered sugar. And by powdered sugar, that is icing sugar. All right, you can find that easily in the baking section of your supermarket. This is our stone ground yellow corn grits. And the ratio for the grits is basically 4:1. So if you're using 1 cup of grits, you need 4 cups of liquid. And that's what I did tonight. I added a serving of vegetables into my grits. And my vegetable of choice was pak choy. I chopped the leaves up very fine, and then I mixed them into the grits right after it was cooked. And I do hope you found this dinner interesting. I'll see you next week, God's willing. And remember to share the live. Go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe. Our YouTube channel is called Nextinfood. Go over there. We have quite a bit of recipe. And watch the videos, guys, please. YouTube is telling me that you guys are not watching the videos long enough, so watch the videos and share the videos.
Impressive 85, the beignets are definitely giving me New Orleans vibe. My friend from New Orleans would definitely enjoy this meal. Lisa says, oh mama mia. Fine Wine says, I can't wait to try this.
Thank you guys so much.
Louise Jackson Walker, so beautiful, looking so delicious. Patricia Brown, enjoy family. Kimberly Campbell, looks so good. Tamika McCarthy, yes, it looks so delicious.
Alright guys, so guess what now? We are going to eat our dinner before it gets cold. And of course, you know, as Sheila, I have to take some pictures for you guys to look at. So we want to do that. So I'll see you guys next week, God's willing. Go over to our YouTube channel, Nextinfood, and subscribe. And look out for when we open reservation for Street Food Saturdays. That will be on the 10th of January. And I wish for you guys a very, very prosperous new year, very good health, and lots of blessing. I am your diva chef, Simone Walker-Barrett, and so from my kitchen and from my family to yours, we want to wish you a very, 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 very great rest of your Sunday evening. Take care, guys. All right, so time for us to take some pictures.